Okay, let's start and everyone else can join. So, first of all, thank you for your time today. Pardon the pun. Most people obviously don't have time to join, which is quite interesting. They don't know how to, they need to find out more ways of building their relationship of time so they can join things like this. So I'm going to give you a wee background about myself. If we had the sales and marketing lunch and learn 2 weeks ago, and we had the leadership last week. So I don't think any of you guys were on that. So I can safely tell you a wee bit about myself without thinking it's being repeated. So I'm going to challenge you today. So what I need you to do, I need you both to open up your chat function, and I would prefer you had a pen and paper just to maybe take some notes that I may give you. So if you can please open up your chat function and just say hello to make sure it's working. And very serious question. Do I have your permission to challenge you today? Just put your hands up to that. Thumbs up, do I have your permission? Okay, you don't know what you've let yourself in for, but that's fine. I'm going to challenge the way you think. I'm going to challenge your relationship with time, and I'm probably going to give you some things you've never heard before about time management as a concept itself. So let's go on, and I'll talk a wee bit about me in a minute. Is it okay to fail? Yes or no? Is it okay to fail? Yes, I see people nodding their heads.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. Hands up, who's never failed at something? No one. In fact, we learn our greatest lessons from our failures. It's just we've got a great fear of doing that. Yes, it gets you one step closer to success, Michelle. Absolutely it does. We learn the lessons from it. Now, personally, I don't perceive I've ever failed at anything in my life. I've just learned some really harsh lessons. I mean, some painful lessons along the way, but they have, as you say, Michelle, they have taken me to more success in the future. But there is a failure, and the only real failure is a failure to participate in your own future. So, do I have your agreement, guys, that you'll participate 100% today? Thumbs up. Great, really, really important. Okay, my background. I 57-year-old, married for 30 odd years, very, very happy, fantastic son. That's important things in my life. The important things is living life through my business. I was in the corporate world for 20 years. And in the corporate world, I lived in 3 continents and project managed the startup of 3 manufacturing operations. One in East Kilbride, which is called Micron in 2000. Then it was over in Malaysia, similar thing. And then I was over in the Caribbean with, again, a similar thing. So I have literally built world-class teams around the globe, literally. And we're in these positions. When I left the corporate world, actually, which is 2010, and since 2010, I've built 3 of my own SME businesses in partnership, and I've helped hundreds upon hundreds of other SME businesses. But when I left the corporate world, I actually thought I was really good at timekeeping. I thought I was a fantastic timekeeper. Turns out I was just a really good delegator. As soon as I lost my PA, I was pretty much screwed. Turns out I wasn't a good timekeeper at all. I was pretty bad at time management. So what I had to do was learn different systems to help me with my time management. I can't share all of them today. We do share everything with you and your programs, but I can't share all of them today. But I will share 2 or 3 that I hope will help you. So all I can ever do is give you the benefit of my experience. Don't take it for granted. Question me, please. Hold me accountable if I don't deliver in these things, but that's all I can really do. Good afternoon, Shona. Oh, you're on silent. We can't hear you. Take yourself off mute. There we go. Hi, Shona.
Hi, sorry about that. Had a last-minute call.
That's what happens. It's called business.
Yes.
That's what happens. I was just making a comment to the other guys that people haven't got time to come on this call when it's all about finding more time to do more stuff that really matters, which is quite ironic and interesting. But I'm really glad you're here, and the next hour or so, the next 50 minutes, I'm going to try and give you as much value as I can based on my experience. So guys, my family lived in some fantastic places in that 20 years in the corporate world, those 3 continents. My son doesn't really have an accent, but he's learned so much from living in different cultures, which is invaluable to him. And then again, the last 12 years, I have literally helped hundreds of businesses. None of these 3 businesses that I built to 7 figures, none of them are coaching businesses. I have coaching companies. These are all based on construction type environment because I love investing into property as well. But the most important thing, whether you have a career or whether you have a business, is to find the time to enjoy life with your family or with your friends or with your hobbies. You know, I often ask whose business is in life support, and people are kind of, what do I say there? Your business should be in life support. It should be supporting the lifestyle that you want, and if that's career-wise, the same applies. Let's have a look a wee bit about time management today. My company is Nova Leadership International. We work in the corporate world, we work in the SME world, and we work in the youth development world. I'm a partner within the company. And today we're really going to focus on our Business Academy program. And I'm going to share things from our Business Academy program that I hope will give you real value and change your perception about time and time management. So in our system, one of the things we use is our peak performance lifestyle system. It's a lifetime leverage system. How do you leverage your entire life? How do you leverage your business and your time to give you more time back and the things you actually want to enjoy? Here's a rather bold statement to begin with. Time management is a completely outdated concept. Completely outdated. Who would like me to prove that to them? Hands up if you'd like me to prove that to them. Yeah, I love it when you challenge me. It's outdated because every single one of you has one of these in your pocket. Every single one of you has one of these supercomputers in your pocket or in front of you, and we are all the most time-bound people at any point of human evolution, even though we have a supercomputer in our pocket. Time management is about spending time to create more workload. That's the concept of time management. Let's find more time. Let's find more time to load ourselves up with more work. Why would you want to do that? What we practice is something called time in 10, and it's a completely different concept. Time in 10 is about investing time now to create future choice. How do you invest time right now to create future choice? So by definition, you have to have an eye in the future. You have to understand where you want to go through your business or through your career in order to get there. So, quick, you can talk through this. You can type into the box. How do you invest time now to create future choice? What? And I don't really expect anyone to be able to answer this off the bat, but let's try it. What things can you do differently that's investing time for future choice instead of trying to find time to do more workload? Any ideas? Type in the chat room if you can. And it's okay if no one really understands it yet, but what could you do differently to invest time for future choice? What's 2 or 3 things you could do differently? Any ideas? Bringing on other team members. Yep, absolutely, Damon. Yep. Keep a Wednesday free for work on my business instead of in it. Great, Michelle. Absolutely. Do you do that, Michelle? You do. Well done.
It's kind of come back and forward. So yes, I did it when I was wanting to get from a particular point to another point, and it worked exceptionally well. And then, like a lot of things, I kind of fell away from it and got very busy. And I've brought it back in again this year because there's another change that I need to implement. So yeah, I know it works. It's just deciding to do it.
Well done. So what I heard there was, I have done it, but I'm inconsistent. Yeah. So how do you build consistency into that? And I'm not going to talk about it today, but I use a default diary. So I program in my diary times when I'm going to be working in my business. And I think that's what you're talking about, Michelle. I don't do it all in one day. I do it throughout the week. So yeah, fantastic. Prioritize actions, John Keogh, and align with goals. Absolutely, yeah. Outsource activity. Yeah, well done, guys. Yeah. Great. No problem, Don. Welcome to this afternoon. Okay, so time management is a different concept. So I'm going to look at 3 different areas today that we can help build a relationship with time. But first of all, I want to ask another question. Does anyone know the significance of this number? What's the significance of this number? You can just take yourselves off mute and you can tell me if you know, or you can type it in. It's up to you. What is the significance for each one of us, each individual person on this call? This number is incredibly significant. Any ideas? Anyone want to guesstimate what it potentially could be? Again, it's a really random question. Why would I expect you to know this? No takers. 960 is the average amount of months that we as human beings live. 79 years for a man, 81 years for a woman in the UK. 960 months. Now, we all get into business or a career to achieve some kind of lifestyle that we want. Well, we are still fit enough to do so, correct? Every one of us get into that. I'm 57 years old, so I'm way past that halfway point. I have 300 months or something left. I'm way past that. So if we don't take action now to get you to where you want to go, you'll end up suffering. Everyone suffers one of 2 pains. Every single person suffers one of 2 pains. Any idea what the 2 pains are? It's not taxes. Unfortunately, they're avoidable. The first pain, most people's death. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, look, that's unavoidable as well. We're going to have to suffer that. But it's when you think back in your deathbed and you say, you know, what did I actually achieve? The world's full of people that want, the graveyard's full of people that want to build a great business and write a book and do all that kind of stuff. So the two great pains, you're going to have to choose which one to suffer. There's no getting out of it. The first one is regret. And most people, when they die or at some point in the future, they suffer regret. And it's easy for us as human beings to choose regret because it's out there. It's out there in the future. We can easily make it. One day when I win the lottery, one day when that happens, it's out there in the future. Or you can choose to suffer the pain of discipline in the now. It's always your choice. But if you want to get to where you want to go, you've got to choose what you're willing to pay to get there. You've got to pay a price, and it has to be discipline. So as I'm talking today and giving you some of these tips, you need to be disciplined to actually implement them into your life, into your system. Does that make sense to everyone? 3 elements of a lifetime leverage system. The first one is this: stop trying to manage time. You cannot manage time. There is 24 hours in a day. You can't have 24.1 hours a day or 23.9 hours a day. You cannot manage time. What you can do is manage your energy. We are all energy. Everything is energy. If you have more energy, do you think you'll be more efficient and productive in the time you have available? Yes or no? Absolutely. So stop managing your time or trying to manage your time and start managing your energy. I'll come back to that. I'll break down each one in a minute. The second one is just what I talked about. It's time intent. What you do now has to be for future choices. Whatever you're doing now has to be for future choices, not just to find more work. Most people spend time thinking they're saving money. Let me say that again. Most people spend time thinking they're saving money, especially business owners. Wealthy, successful people spend money to get time back. Every wealthy, successful leader, business owner spends money to get time back. Time is our most valuable asset. You can lose money and get it back, but once you've lost time, it is gone forever. So you need to choose right now: am I willing to discipline myself to work on my business or my career and grow it, or am I going to suffer regret in the future? 960 months. We have a finite time, as Damon pointed out. You know, we are all going to die one day. So practice time intent. And the third one is experience intent. Now, I touched on it last week in the leadership lunch and learn. We are always setting expectations for our future and our immediate future. Very few people out there are actually aware of the expectations they're setting, but we're always doing it. And if you want to know what expectations you're setting yourself, start becoming aware of what you're thinking about. Start thinking about what you're thinking about and start listening to your self-talk. I can't do this, or I'm never going to be able to, or whatever that may be. You're always setting, we cannot move forward with any action or event or situation without setting an expectation. And those expectations usually come from our past experiences, our beliefs from our past experiences. And some of those beliefs I talked about last week are not serving you. So if we know we're always setting experience intentions, why not leverage that? Why not set an intention for the next segment of your life? I'm not going to cover number 3 today. So your brain works by segmenting the experience you've had from today. And depending on the emotional attachment you have to that experience, it will move from short-term memory to long-term memory during the night. But it segments every focus point. Every time you change your primary focus, your brain latches onto that and says, okay, that's a segment. So in other words, when your focus right now, your primary focus right now, I hope is on me or on learning how to build your relationship with time. As soon as you finish this call and go on to another call or go for your lunch, your brain recognizes we've changed our primary focus and it segments it. So if we understand that, we can set an experience intention for the next segment of our life. When I go into this call, what do I want to experience? What is I want to experience when I finish this call? What emotions do I want to feel, or whatever it is? Now, you can take it to that nth degree, and we do in our programs to begin with. But understand you're always setting expectations for the next experience. You need to become aware of it. Just simply becoming aware of thinking about what you're thinking about, feeling what you're feeling, and listening to your self-talk will do that. Does that make sense to everyone? Hands up if everyone gets that. Yeah. Okay, good. Energy intention. What do I mean by that? You've got to manage your 4 dimensions of energy. The body, physical energy. The mind, focused energy. The emotions, you're influenced by your emotions. Whether you believe it or not, you're influenced by your emotions. And emotions are results, are outcomes from experiences that we recall to set our expectations. And then the domain of persistence energy, and that is the human spirit. And what I mean by that is purpose. So let's take your body. Your body is an amazing vehicle. It has 50 to 70 trillion cells, all interconnected in a common unity, a community. Your business, your stakeholders, your team members, your suppliers, your customers are in a community. If you're not building a community or a common unity, you need to start doing that in your business. Your business is a community. So this common unity, there's an ecosystem where each cell, each one of these 70 trillion cells has its own respiratory system, it has its own reproduction system, it has its own digestion system. And each of the cells have a tendency to become biochemically addicted to neurotransmitters. And some of those neurotransmitters are definitely not serving you, such as cortisol and adrenaline, for a prolonged period of time to create stress. Guys, we are all addicted. If you are getting angry, if you're getting frustrated, if you are getting fearful, if you're under stress, eventually your cells become addicted to those neurotransmitters. People get road rage at 5:30 every night because they're addicted to those neurotransmitters hitting their cells. We are all addicted. We just have to realize that. So you're a sensory vehicle. Your body is a sensory vehicle with a connection that emits an energy field resonant with what you're feeling and what you're thinking. Let me ask you, if you do not take care of your body, ladies and gents, where are you going to live? 95% of your body doesn't experience anything. Your body just does what it's told to do. And 95% it's running from these subconscious programs that some of them are definitely not serving you right now. Now, your mind, I can't go into this again. I went into a wee bit last week on the self-leadership. Thought cannot experience, your mind cannot experience. The only thing we can do is perceive, label, and create. We are always labeling things. If I point out the wall behind you right now, you have to give justification why that wall exists. We need to label things and give justification. It needs a world of relativity to give meaning to everything. All we do is recall from past experience and try to give meaning to what we're experiencing right now. So it's not about only improving your mindset. You'll hear out there a lot of stuff about, growth mindset and improving your mindset, and of course it's important. But what's really important is that you align your mindset, your skill set, and your action set. Because you could have the right mindset, but you don't have the right skill set. You can have a really bad action set, in other words, your behaviours and your strategies that you normally use. You could have a skill set could be enormous. So it's about aligning your mindset, skill set, and action set. That's where success actually lies. I mentioned last week that the very essence of human psychology is that we need to be congruent with who we identify as. Therefore, you literally need to upgrade your identity. If you want to be a phenomenal business owner, then you need to adopt and assume the identity of a phenomenal business owner. If you want to be great at time management, you need to adopt that identity. It's the real you. It's who you really want to be. If you only believed you could be that person. Emotions are always outcome from experiences, and we recall beliefs that set the expectations for emotions that are usually wrong. Purpose, spirit. Let me make another drastic statement. In my experience, all performance comes from a sense of purpose. Period. Performance is directly linked to purpose. If you give your people, you have a strong enough purpose, you will increase productivity. I've given 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 people wage rises, and productivity goes up for 1 or 2 days. It's purpose that drives performance, period. You need to connect with your people and give them purpose. You need to connect with you and figure out what your purpose is in order to move forward. So they're the 4 dimensions of energy, and our programs will take you through each one of those programs, but you have to start doing that. And all I want you to do today is become aware of thinking about what you're thinking about. Become aware of how your body is feeling, and it'll tell you how you're going to get into that next segment of your life. Make sense to everyone? Everyone still with me? Anyone asleep yet? Good. That's a win. Okay. How you act, how you think, how you feel. That is a cycle. Your thinking creates actions, and feelings are a result of the experience. You may set an expectation for the feeling, but feelings are a result of the experience. You have to change that cycle to your favour. Time and tension. I mentioned it before. I want you to think about this. What if time is only an excuse people out there are using to keep themselves feeling safe? What if you can stop being a slave to time? Understand that most people out there use time constraints as an excuse to stay exactly where they are. Even if the current experience is not desired, we need to recognise that emotionally it keeps them safe. So let me give you a quick example of that. Anyone work with anyone with depression, out of curiosity? Anyone work with anyone with depression? It's not an easy thing to do or work with. And what happens is, yeah, Damon as well, yeah. So a lot of people have that experience. Could be a family member, could be someone in your business, could be. Most people think to themselves, why can't they just give themselves a kick? Why can't they just give themselves a kick and get out of that? We are determined by pain or pleasure and our association to pain or pleasure. So someone who's depressed is associating, and you need to understand that to understand how come sometimes you get fearful or frustrated or anxious or can't change. When someone is depressed, they're associating more pain to the journey out of their depression than they are staying where they are. It's less painful, even although it's incredibly painful to be that depressed, because they remember the past when they weren't. It's incredibly painful to be where they are, but it's less painful than the journey they're associated to get out of it. Therefore, their dopamine circuits give them a reward. They actually get rewarded for staying exactly where they are. So understand that in terms of, when you have fear of something that's happening in your future and your timeline. Here's the thing, you can only control what you can control. And what you have to do is create systems for you to control that. You can take back your power, the beliefs, and create intent for who you want to experience. When you create intent, your body does not recognize the difference between subconscious imagination and what you're actually going to achieve. So if you want to make a better use of your time or gain better experience through your timeline, then you have to start looking at what you want to achieve and actually rehearsing that in your head. And again, it comes back to, what can I do in order to create choice tomorrow? And most people are fearful from that. Most people are fearful from outsourcing because it costs money. Most people are fearful from taking on a new employee because it costs money. So I'll just keep on doing it. Would you pay yourself to do that employee's job? So you can keep on feeling safe, or you can spend your time for little return, or you can choose to learn how to invest your time with intent. Have a read at that. The very worst and most common misuse of time is to do something well it doesn't need to be done at all. Doesn't have a real future significance. It's not a priority. And most importantly, someone else could and should have done it. So I want you to think about this question. I want everyone to think about this question. How much time do you and your business right now do things that other people could and should be doing? And I want you to put a percentage against it. What percentage of time do you do things in your business right now that other people could and should be doing? So I want you to, if you're brave enough, I would like to type it into the chat room. 30%, yeah. 25%, John, absolutely. Shona, 25%. Absolutely. The average is 35 to 40%. 35 to 40%, most leaders or career leaders or business owners are doing things that they know other people could and should be doing. But hey, I do it better myself, so I might as well do it myself. How's that working out for you? So I want you to think of some of those reasons. Take a list of some of those things you're doing. That 30% for David, 25% for John, 25% for Shona. Take a list of what you are doing that you shouldn't be doing. And then we can work about how do we train people to do that, how do we delegate, how do we outsource. I'm not saying it's an easy pathway, but that's where you have to start. Does that make sense for everyone? So do the discipline. What is those things that you could outsource, or you could delegate, or you could put an automated system in place? What is those things? And then start to work on them. So use that list and start to work on it, but you must be disciplined. Everyone with me? Time to rev it up, guys. Here's time management. Look where time management is. Look where time intent is. For you to get to where you want to go, the reason you first started your business and went into this career, you have to start looking to the future so you have choices. Every single one of us is going to retire one day. I'm going to talk about that very briefly later on, if I have time to do so. I would do so. In our system, we have 3 decision-making triangles, 3 decision-making funnels. And I know you can't see this, guys. I know it's way too much for you. It's all broken down in our system. I'm going to give you 2 elements out of the first two funnels. 3 decision-making funnels. The last funnel is all about planning for the future. So you move from funnel 1 to funnel 2 to funnel 3. It's all about planning for the future. Funnel 1 is called giving yourself emotional permission. I was working with an HR manager in a fairly large company just before Christmas. And she got me in because she felt as if she needed to delegate, she needed to learn how to delegate more. That was not a problem. Her problem was she never gave herself emotional permission to say no. She took on far too much workload and didn't want to delegate it because she thought it would, it would be cascading too much workload or pressure onto her team. Our problem was not delegation. Our problem was giving herself emotional permission. So you need to, what I would like to take away from today, ladies and gents, is start giving yourself emotional permission to say no. If you're working on those things that don't really need to be worked on at all, say no to it. If someone comes in, we all experience time buying buyers. If someone comes in and tries to take your time, say no. So learn to give yourself emotional permission to say no is one of those factors. The other factor is the premise of delegation. Delegation is an art form. You need to learn how to delegate, and most people do not delegate very well. Let me start off with this statement. You cannot delegate responsibility. You cannot delegate responsibility. Any idea what I mean by that? Anyone want to challenge me on that? Why can't you delegate responsibility? We all do it, apparently. Delegate to someone, this is now your responsibility.
Delegate the task, but not the responsibility for it.
Okay, yeah. How would you do that, Michelle? What do you mean delegate the task? So this is what I need you to do.
Yeah, so you need to give clear instruction of what's expected. And then they take away and they deliver on that element. But ultimately, you're accountable for it if you're sitting at the top of the business.
Absolutely.
So if your instruction has been unclear and that's not been communicated effectively, the result might not come back as you want it.
1,000,000%. And the first lunch and learn we talked about paraphrasing. So when you're delegating authority, then you want to paraphrase to make sure they understand what you're trying to do. So just to check, ask them that they understood what's happening here. So the thing is, you can only delegate authority in a way which other people are empowered to take responsibility. Otherwise, they'll do it out of compliance. And most companies out there, their team members are working out of compliance, not of commitment. They're working out of compliance because they've been told what to do. In other words, their significant purpose is to turn up and get a wage. That's the purpose they're working under. And what happens is, because they're working out of compliance, not commitment, that starts to drain your time. Because you have to start firefighting, you have to go back in, and the purpose is not strong enough. So you must delegate in a way that they feel empowered to take responsibility. And I must understand consequences and outcomes, in other words. Does that make sense to everyone? Here's the empowerment or the delegation continuum. Now, this is a full day workshop in and of itself. Most things work on a continuum. In this particular continuum, you can go from -5 to +5. And trust me, every single one of us, including me, can go up and down that continuum on a daily basis, maybe even an hourly basis, depending on the situation. The difference is I have trained myself to become aware when I'm moving away from the 0 point. I've trained myself to pause and think, wait a minute, I'm going down towards -5, which is disempowering, or +5, which is disempowering. Again, self-awareness is the absolute key to understand. So what do you think, if this is a delegator, if 0 is a delegator, what do you think is at -5? What kind of manager, leader, attitude, behavior is at -5? Any idea? And not that I expect you to understand, not that I expect you to, but any takers, any guessers? What's at -5? You type in or shout it out. There's only a few of us. Let me show you. -5 is an abdicator. And there's two primary types of abdicators. Young leaders, for example, are really poor abdicators because they don't really know what to do and they don't want people to know that they don't know what to do. And that accounts for quite a few people as well that aren't new leaders or new managers. The abdicate, that's fine. You know, that sounds good, just go and do that. Or the other type of abdicator is you have no time. You have no time to really listen to that person, help that person. Because you're so time bound doing things you don't really need to be doing at all. Somebody else could and should be doing them. Therefore, you're really abdicating. Yeah. Why are you bothering with this? Is your internal self-talk. Just go and do it. Yeah, you're abdicating responsibility. So, and in our system, we break it down much further than that. I mean, we break it down into self-talk is what you're looking out for. But what's at +5? If that's an abdicator, what's at +5? -5 is an abdicator. What do you think +5 is? Any idea? Again, not that I would expect you to. You get through 14 years of schooling and go to, get an MBA and no one talks about this. Resistance to delegating. Yeah. It's a good response, Damon. Yeah. Over delegating, again, a good response.
Holding on to control, Derek. Yeah.
Yes.
Pass it on, but
yes.
Tell me what you're doing. Yeah.
Yes. Well, that's what you should be doing. But +5 is a controller.
Yeah.
So there's two primary types of controllers as well. There's those that believe I can do it better anyway, so I'll just do it. And they try to control everything. They manage people. They do not empower people. They do not create 100% inclusion and involvement. They do not accept risk taking. How's that working out for them, do you think? The second type of controller is those guys that, men or ladies that bring people into a room and say, okay, we're going to brainstorm. Let's brainstorm today. How do we solve this problem? With no real intention of listening to what everyone's input is. They're going to do it their way anyway. So you get input from everyone, and then you say, right, great, thanks very much. This is what we're going to do. And everyone walks away thinking, yeah, usual. Don't really listen to me anyway. That type 1 controller is so time bound because they're trying to do everything themselves, they quickly become a type 2 abdicator. Or too time bound. They bounce from one end to the other end. All day long, bounce from one end to the other end. So again, it's self-awareness of how you delegate. Now, there's a process to delegate. You need to learn the process to delegate. And I'm really sorry I don't have time to go into that today. But again, the takeaway, please, is just become self-aware when you're stretching down to the abdicator. Humility is a fantastic leadership concept. If you don't know, admit you don't know, but you'll find out. Listen, I'm not sure, but let me take some advice on that. Make sure you're including and empowering people and get them involved. And every single person in your business knows how to sort your problems. You just don't involve them. So delegation is an art form. Just become self-aware when you're up or down that continuum. Yes? Everyone with me? Everyone going to try that self-awareness? Excellent. Here's another concept for you. Build it once, get paid forever. Our Business Academy programs, which I'll talk to you about today, there's 3 levels within Business Academy. Our Growth Academy programs, our Leadership Academy programs are all online. They're online. They're all about implementation. They're all about supporting you to implement. The only way you learn is from implementing the knowledge you've gained. You don't learn from getting knowledge, and that's what most online programs do. So we provide the step-by-step instructions. This is just copy-paste, and then we provide the support, the clinics that we run, the workshops that we run, and support of online programs to make sure you're implementing. How many times did I build those programs, or how many times did myself and my team build those programs? How many times do you think? Once, twice, 3 times? Once. Once. Build it once, get paid forever. 4 books. These are 4 books that myself and my wife have written. How many times did we write them? Once. How often do we get paid? Forever. Now, I'm not saying you should build an online program. Actually, if you're not in the online program space, then you need to become an online. I mean, we would have an online program to teach you how to build an online program. And I'm not saying you should write a book. So give me one concept that you can build once and get paid forever. And your businesses right now, give me one concept that you can build once and get paid forever, or reap the rewards forever. Any idea what it is? Okay, this is what I want to do. I want you to write this word I'm going to say, and I want you to write it vertically. So I'm going to give you each letter, and I want you to write each letter vertically. The first letter is S. So write an S at the top. Then below the S, I want you to write Y. Then another S. Then a T. Anyone ever played Hangman? And I want you to write another E. Then an M. And then an S. And somebody tell me what that word says. SYSTEMS. What does that word say? Systems. Systems. Let me tell you this, great leaders do not build great businesses. You look at Branson or whoever you think is a great leader, Alan Sugar or whoever it is, they have not built great businesses. What they've done is bring on or build great people that builds great systems that run great businesses. They do not build great businesses. Let me explain that, what systems mean. I want you to write in the top one where you have the first S, I want you to write saving. So that S is the first letter of saving, saving. The Y is your, saving your. The S is self, so write this down if you can. So we're saving yourself. What does this T stand for?
Time.
Hey, time. What does the E stand for?
Energy.
Yep. What does the M stand for?
Money.
Money. What does the S stand for?
Stress.
Well done, team. What a team. Great effort.
Sorry, I was on mute. I got them all right as well.
Yeah, Damon. Build it once, get paid forever. Start developing the systems. Unless those systems are indoctrinated into your business, then, you know, they're not systems. Who should be building the systems? You?
The team.
Correct. Start getting your team to build systems. Who would like to know the secret to business development? People pay me thousands, guys, for their secret, and I'm going to give it to you right now. Who would like it? I need some enthusiasm. Hands up. Yes, please, Derek. There we go, Damon's doing a Mexican wave, so's John. Okay, need to write this down. Every time something goes wrong, put a systems solution in place. 98% of business owners and businesses out there throw people solutions at it. 98% of the time, you must put a system solution in place. And who are you going to ask?
People involved in it.
Yeah. So what can we do, guys? What steps can we put in place to stop that happening again? You're still in control. You're delegating authority for them to come up with suggestions, but you're still in control. But you're getting them involved, you're getting them included. And you're saving yourself time, energy, money, and stress. Here's my final concept for today. Who knows your FFF? Hands up if you know your FFF. That is the most important figure in your financial life.
Financial freedom figure, is it, Derek?
Financial freedom figure. You can tell John saw some of our programs. Financial freedom figure. And that's pretty easy, Derek. That's pretty, I know what that is. Your financial freedom one is how much money you need to spend each month just to survive, just to pay the bills. That's not hard. But everyone knows it. And financial freedom figure two is how much money do I need to spend to pay my bills and live the lifestyle I want to. Go on holiday, buy a car, you know, take the family out for a meal. That's FFF2. Well, then everyone knows that. You only reach financial freedom when that figure, those two figures come from passive income, not your primary income right now. I can cover that, Derek. I can cover my financial. No, it must come from passive income. And this is you taking back control of your destiny that I said we would do. We get your time sorted out so that you can invest in future choices. In our programs, we teach people how to invest. We teach you how to invest in property. We help you understand the equity cycle. We teach you how to actually create equity from excess profits in order to invest capital into other assets and get a return from those assets. Whether it's a second home, whether it's stocks and shares, it doesn't matter. But you need to broaden your intentions of what your future looks like. If we can get you time back, you can work on your business. When we work on your business, we can get you more profits, and we can get more profits. It's not easy, but it's simple. Just follow the flipping system. But then it's all about how do we get you towards your choice of exit. And everyone's going to exit, everyone's going to retire. So again, it boils down to a simple question, guys. A simple question that if you ask yourself repeatedly for a minimum of 30 days, you'll start to redefine your current reality. And the question is this: every day for 30 days, write it down. What can I make it? What can I make it my intentions and my intention to do today that will gain me time back for future choices? What can I make it my intention to do today that will gain me time back for future choices? That's the question. If you keep asking yourself that every day, you'll begin to rework your belief system. So here is a reality check for everyone. Time and money are the only two things you can invest. You can invest nothing else. Time and money, that's it. By only investing time in to expand your mind can you expand your wealth. You need to raise your financial IQ. You need to raise your business IQ. Real world, not go and get an MBA. I've got letters after my name, but real world, how do we implement things that are going to work in your business? If you improve one thing, including your time in the next 52 weeks, every week for the next 52 weeks, where would your business be? And that's what we're going to deliver in partnership with the Dumbartonshire Chamber of Commerce. We're going to run a 5-level business academy for your members. We're going to invite you along to a special seminar to find out more about Business Academy itself, so you can choose, you can decide, is it my intent to do this? Am I going to discipline myself? Or no, I want to try something else. Don't suffer regret, guys. If myself or my team or my programs are not right for you, I am cool. I'm absolutely fine with that. We'll remain friends forever. World-class athletes become world-class athletes because they have a support team. So we're going to give everyone the opportunity to come on to a seminar to find out more about Business Academy. The truth is, in the next 6 months, the economy ain't good right now in the UK, guys. Everyone knows that. I don't know how some. I was £600 for electricity alone last month, and I'm getting a house built. We're in a rental house right now. It's my friend's house. It's £600 electricity alone. I don't know how some people are actually surviving. It's frightening. It worries me for some people, actually, to be honest with you. And our purpose as a company is to elicit the greatness within everyone, so that everyone has an opportunity to take their own future, to fast forward their future to something that they want. That drives me and my team every single day. But the reality is, most businesses are going to be just surviving over the next year. They're battening down the hatches to ride out the storm. No, guys, this is any time there's a depressed economy is a massive opportunity. Because if you grow your business right now, or you develop your business right now, or you scale your business right now, you will be way ahead of the competition when they decide to unbatten the hatches. Investors invest now. That's when serial investors invest, because the cost is low. So that when it comes back again, recession is cyclical. Every 10 years since I've been alive, there's been some kind of recession. The reason to go into recession is always different. Subprime lending, 2008, 2010, the horrible experience that every human being's went through in the last 3 years with COVID, and then you've got Brexit and the Ukraine war, and a crescendo all coming up. The reason's always different. So my final advice to you is, You need to be just as focused on who you need to be as in what you're doing. Who is it you need to be? You need to change your identity to be that person that has the time to focus on the things that you want to focus on to get you to where you want to go. Use your emotional guidance system to become aware of it. Use your self-talk to become aware of it. But mostly allow yourself to be in the moment. We are not human doing, we are human beings. So allow yourself to be in the moment and appreciate the wonder that's all around you. Last week I gave away everyone our gratitude and run log, and I'll do that again this week. You're going to get an update in the next 24 hours with a knowledge share from today, so please look out for it. If you don't have it in your inbox, check your spam filter, because no doubt it'll go in there. Invest your time by frequently taking your focus off everything you think is urgent and focus on that which you think is important. And what is important is this: be loving, be grateful, be helpful, be healthy, be kind, be assertive, be disciplined, be focused, be bold, be your goal, whatever you want to achieve. Be a planner, be a leader, just be. Stop working in the doing and start working in the being. You can only ever live and experience in the present. So time is now. Time is now to create your intended future. Forget the old time management concept. Time is now to create your intended future. So 25 minutes past, guys. I really hope you got a lot. Let me express my sincere gratitude for allowing me to share my experience with you today. I'm really humbled and I'm really grateful. And I hope everyone gets something out of it. So a quick 5 minutes. Is there any? I'm going to ask you to type something in the chat room in a minute. But is there any questions anyone has or would like to ask me about time constraints, or anything really? It could be open up to anything you want in business and leadership. Is there anything anyone wants to ask me whilst you've got me for 5 minutes? Micromanaging. Yep, how do you stop micromanaging? So as a micromanager, Michelle, you're in that control, you're way up to that controller. You're way up to that control section of delegating.
Yeah, that was going back to when we were talking about the...
Sorry.
It's okay. It was...
You would explain to me what the controller was. Yes,
yeah.
I get that now. That's not your challenge. Okay, anyone else got any challenges you want to express? Or...
I guess it's that bit about when we were talking about the that bit actually where we were talking about the delegation and what have you, and it's how you because mine's not necessarily doing sort of, we have so many priorities and important things that need doing. So to be honest, and when you've got a small team, you have to prioritize and not do the stuff that you can't do. So we're all right.
Sorry, I'm just wrecking my office here as I'm talking to you. Carry on, David. Sorry. Yeah.
But then it's that wee loop that you get stuck in, because I guess when you're bringing on new staff and developing them, you don't necessarily have that level of skill at that stage. So it's finding it's that catch-22 where you want to build the time, but you need to invest the time. So it's how you sort of get out of that sort of cycle, I guess, because
absolutely.
I know I can get them up to a level, but they'll need a bit of coaching and training and what have you. But that's extra time at the beginning to give you the benefits further on.
Yeah, the first thing, I'll come back to the first point, but the second point you mentioned is hiring. So you need to hire the right people. And very few people hire correctly. Most people think hiring is a selection process. Hell no. Hiring is a deselection process. You have to give every single person who you're taking to interview, even in your ad campaign, an excuse to deselect themselves. And then you have to hire in values. 98% of people are hiring skilled, and a lot of them are fired in values. They don't follow the company values. So hire in values. So by definition, you need to understand what your company values are and hire in those values. And what you're looking to hire is people who can, they don't need to be, they can be self-assertive and self-actuating with their time. When it comes to your dragging your time, you then have to prioritize. So one of the things I do for prioritization, I'm going to show you this. I'll share it with everyone. Here's a typical, if you can see that to-do list. This is my to-do. It's not it's a blank one. But I focus on the goals for each day. So I use, one of the rules I use is the 80-20 rule. So 20% of those things in your to-do list will be worth more than the other 80% put together. That's the one you should do first of all. Anyone who hasn't read Eat My Frog by Brian Tracy, you should read that book. He talks about eating your frog every day first. The thing that you really don't want to do it first. And I'm telling you, the rest of the day is a cinch. The rest of the day is great. So it is a challenge, it's a constant challenge. But all you need to do is put in systems and use those systems to work through it. Does that make sense, Damon?
Yep.
Any other questions? Also building a robust induction process. Absolutely. You need an induction process, but the hiring does not stop until the 3 to 6 month probation period is up. Your hiring does not stop. You need to be focused on, now when I'm hiring someone, I'm always challenging them. I'll give you a quick reason. We hired someone who does our social media. It wasn't my business, it was one of the businesses I'm a director in. So I went to the chamber of, I went to Ayrshire College actually, or UWS I should say, and I presented to 3 of their classes. There was like 90, no, so there was actually 60 odd people there. And it was the classes that was doing social media and all that sort of stuff. And I was giving them a seminar, helping them prepare confidence for exams. And I said, okay, we've got an opportunity here. We're taking on someone who can manage our social media and do all that sort of stuff. But the only way you're going to get an interview with me is if you find me in social media. I'm not telling, my name's Derek Mayer. This is my company name. Go and find me in social media and send me a video answering these 3 questions. And I gave everyone the 3 questions. The only way you're going to get an interview, this is a full-time job, will take your career to the next level. You're just coming out of university. The only way you get an interview is if you send me an email answering these 3 questions. Out of the 60 odd people, how many emails did I receive, or how many social media connections, did I receive with the video? How many do you think?
3.
Michelle, have you heard this story before? 3. Now, I get plenty of people connecting with me.
Yeah.
3 people out of 65, 66, whatever it was, sent me a video. 2 of those people deselected themselves immediately with their responses, their demeanour, their dress code, their attitude in the video. The other boy went to interview and he was hired. I deselected 60 odd people in one go. So make sure you're using a deselection process as you're hiring, so you're left with the best. And part of that is your induction process. But your induction should be about your business goals, your values, and what you expect of them, and how we can build this business together. And especially,
why do you think so few people reached out?
Part of it was fear of having to do that task. I needed someone who could easily do a video, could go into social media, and was confident to present themselves on social media. And the fact is, most of those kids weren't. They're 19, 20 years old, presumably 21 years old. Most of them weren't.
Yeah.
And that's the feedback we kind of got and gave to the university. It was like, oh my God, I can't do this. So yeah, induction process is really important. Any other questions, guys? What are we doing? We're over time. So look out for this email, folks. Again, thank you sincerely today. What I want you to quickly write in the comments is one thing you're going to implement as a result of today. So I need 100% participation. Remember, everyone agreed to that. Write in the comments one thing you're going to implement, not that you're going to think about, that you're actually going to physically implement as a result of today. What you're going to physically implement as a result of what you've learned today. And I know we only scratched the surface. I realise it was, a surface scratching exercise, but I'm sorry, that's all we have time for. We'll get more opportunity, I promise. Non-negotiable, Michelle. Well done. There you go. 30-day planning. Yeah. Look at new systems. Well done, Damon. Yeah. Just build those systems. Build it once, get paid forever.